EJ was frightened to find his Rafe doppelganger Arnold relaxing in a robe, nibbling on breakfast in the DiMera family room. EJ hastily shut the way to the anteroom, and he murmured, "What in the world do you believe you're doing?" Arnold said he was getting a charge out of breakfast. "Is that my robe?" EJ inquired. At the point when Arnold noticed that the robe felt quite a bit better on his exposed body, EJ scowled and advised him to keep it. "You've had a good time, now is the right time to leave," EJ said. "What's the hurry?" "I just arrived," Arnold said. EJ reminded Arnold that nobody could see him with EJ. "You are not Rafe, and my child isn't an imbecile. Furthermore, he will sort that out whether or not you keep close by," EJ said. Arnold noticed that Johnny and Chanel had previously left for work. Disappointed, EJ stressed out loud that Johnny could run into Rafe and noticed that he had conversed with Rafe at the manor. "You were having to deal with serious crime penalties before my dad, and I faked your passing and lively you out of the country. Assuming the police were to figure out that you are, as a matter of fact, still alive, you would be captured on the spot," EJ said. Arnold contended that since EJ was the DA, he was not in no peril of going to jail. EJ countered that he needed to pay all due respects to the city hall leader and the residents of Salem, large numbers of whom were none too excited that you acted like the darling Rafe Hernandez and slept with my significant other, EJ said. "Sammy Brady. She was a genuine gun," Arnold said with a sneer. EJ blamed Arnold for having assaulted Sammy, yet Arnold conflicted. "She thought you were Rafe. Presently why she would lay down with him, that is another story. However, the fact of the matter is, Samantha was unequipped for a scent," EJ snarled. Arnold noticed that it was a hazy situation. Love General Medical Clinic, B&B, Days or different cleansers? Join the discussion on our SC sheets. Click here to interface with fans and plunge into conversations now. Indeed, the homicide of Faye Walker certain as damnation was definitely not a hazy situation, and for that, you will be captured. Furthermore, for that, you will be arraigned. Furthermore, what will you do then, at that point?" EJ said. Arnold contended that he would propose to affirm against EJ in return for an arrangement. Arnold reminded EJ that he and Stefano had composed Arnold's plastic medical procedure and his substitution of the genuine Rafe after an auto collision. "It's additionally going to be you who pays for my violations," Arnold said. "I never requested that you lay down with Samantha or to kill Faye, besides," EJ called attention to. EJ asked Arnold for what reason he needed to remain around when EJ would pay him liberally to abandon it. "I will wait," Arnold said. At the Hernandez home, Jada and Rafe arranged their wedding. "As far as I might be concerned, genuine sentiment is looking at you while I say my commitments," Rafe said. "You've been dealing with that one for some time currently, haven't you?" Jada said. With a laugh, Rafe conceded he had been practicing his line. "It sounded great." "Very much like you," Jada murmured. Jada proposed Rafe's birthday for the wedding date. "It would be a dependable way for you to recall our commemoration," Jada said. "Goodness ye of little confidence," Rafe countered. Jada explained that she implied that Rafe was a bustling man. With a gesture, Rafe noticed that his birthday was toward the finish of January. "I know. However, we discussed doing it soon," Jada contended. Rafe let Jada know that wedding her was a decent birthday present. After Jada left for work, Paulina came by Rafe's home. Rafe noticed that Jada had previously left, yet Paulina said she was there to converse with Rafe. Paulina let Rafe know that she needed to help Jada and assist her with prevailing in the job of police chief. "You really want to remain the damnation out of her way," Paulina said. Paulina faulted Rafe for having blown the Hattie case for Jada. Rafe reminded Paulina that his resident's capture of Hattie was the reason the police had Hattie in care. Undaunted, Paulina contended that Rafe had kept EJ from having the option to put forth a defense against Hattie. "I'm certain I don't need to remind you. I have a personal stake for this situation. My better half was harmed by that reprobate," Paulina said. "I was recruited as a confidential specialist, and I can't resist on the off chance that I arrived first," Rafe countered. At the point when Paulina surrendered that Rafe was great at his particular employment, Rafe kidded, "Which is the reason you supplanted me." Paulina focused on that her choice to supplant Rafe had not been private. "I've come to understand that I might in any case utilize you in my group, a man of your range of abilities, with your extremely great hard-working attitude," Paulina said. "So you're here extending to me an employment opportunity?" Rafe inquired. Paulina requested that Rafe be her rodent emperor. Paulina made sense of that she needed to display a program after the one in New York to safeguard general well-being. "I guarantee you, it is a basic work. Also generously compensated," Paulina said. Rafe said he was complimented to be thought of. "I'm getting the feeling that you just extended to me this employment opportunity so you can keep me uninvolved. You know, so I don't humiliate your new official," Rafe said. Rafe let Paulina know that he adored Jada and that he would not allow their responsibilities to destroy their relationship. "You can take the work and push it." "Consciously, obviously," Rafe said. Rafe opened the entryway for Paulina to leave. At the police headquarters, Beauty was hanging tight for Jada in the warm-up area. Jada and Beauty talked about how Beauty had outmaneuvered EJ in Imprint Green's case. "Seems like you beat him unexpectedly," Jada said. "No doubt, and I just came from doing it once more," Beauty said. Beauty made sense of that on the grounds that EJ had endeavored to address Hattie without her legal counselor present. The appointed authority had set Hattie free from care. "Damn. That implies I will not have the option to demonstrate that she corrupted those cupcakes," Jada mumbled. Beauty noticed that EJ was at fault, and Jada concurred. Jada and Beauty headed into the chief's office to secretly talk. Jada whined that her record relied upon EJ, and EJ had messed up various ongoing cases. "Indeed, not to shield EJ, be that as it may, you know, when the realities are against you," Beauty said. Jada guided out that EJ had endeavored toward play grimy and that had demolished his last two cases. "Valid. Some could contend that not set in stone to succeed no matter what," Beauty said. Jada clashed. "At the point when EJ has an irreconcilable situation, he basically declines indicting the liable party," Jada said. That's what Jada noticed in the event that EJ didn't get convictions, it would consider ineffectively Jada, as well. "I would prefer to work with somebody like you," Jada said. "You maintain that I should supplant EJ as DA?" Beauty inquired. Jada brought up that Beauty had a superior series of wins. "I figure you and I would make an extraordinary group," Jada contended. Beauty noticed that Maine Paulina could delegate a DA. With a smile, Jada said she was sure she could persuade Paulina to back her arrangement. "I simply don't have the foggiest idea," Beauty said. Jada inquired as to whether her hesitations about the gig were a result of Sean's situation with the police division. Indeed, that is important for it," Beauty conceded. Beauty let Jada know that she likewise had a set of experiences with EJ. "I would rather not take his occupation from him," Beauty added. "You should know that assuming I get everything I could possibly want, he is gone come what may," Jada said. Beauty conceded that she didn't have the foggiest idea how long she would remain in Salem, so she didn't figure she ought to seek after the gig. "We can sell it as a temporary move," Jada proposed. Jada contended that Beauty would just have to affirm for a set time frame. After Beauty left, Paulina showed up at the region. Jada made sense of for Paulina that she needed to supplant EJ as the DA. At the Demera Chateau, EJ was all the while endeavoring to persuade Arnold to leave town when somebody rang the doorbell. EJ requested Arnold to remain in the family room while he addressed the front entryway. EJ slipped into the hall, and he was alarmed to see Rafe on the entryway patio. At the Salem motel, Leo sat in his lodging and read through his horoscope. Cheerful birthday to me. For what reason are my horoscopes in every case such a killjoy? Leo mumbled. As Leo glanced through the day's paper on his telephone, he recognized another segment from Woman Informant. The segment promoted that Leo had recruited a private investigator to find the character of the feature writer, yet they had come up void. Who can say for sure? Perhaps I'll simply appear at her entryway and finally let her alone to get some closure, Leo reads so anyone might hear. As Leo frowned at the segment, there was a thump at his entryway. Informant? Finally, we at long last meet, Leo murmured. At the point when Leo yanked open the entryway, Doug was in the corridor. You're not Woman Informant, are you? Leo inquired. I have no clue about what that implies, Doug said. Leo guided Leo into the room, and he noticed that he was engrossed with a tattle editorialist who was on a mission to obliterate Leo's life. I would have rather not annoyed you, yet I was trusting you would have some report about that jewelry I gave you to sell, Doug said. Leo informed Doug that he had found somebody who might sell the accessory for Leo's sake. I'm exceptionally grateful, however I simply wish I didn't need to do this, Doug said. Doug deplored that he had taken a family legacy from Julie. Leo recovered the jewelry from a cabinet and held it out to Doug. To give it back, there's actually time, Leo exhorted. I realize I ought to give it back, however I can't. I need to, however I truly need the cash to take care of those individuals, Doug said. Leo heaved. You have an exit plan for me? Doug asked ideally. Leo made sense of that Doug's battle would be an extraordinary storyline for his drama. You can definitely relax. It's not possible for anyone to associate it back to you, Leo said. Leo composed a note into his telephone. Tune in, I understand what it resembles to be in the sort of dilemma that you're in. What's more, I realize that you feel awful harming somebody that you care about. However, assuming it causes you to feel much improved, your granddad's family as of now suspects the jewelry is no more. They'll deal with it. What's more, you will, as well, Leo said. Leo encouraged Doug to sell the jewelry At the point when Tate opened the front entryway, Holly asked him for what good reason it had taken such a long time to answer the entryway. Tate said he had been in the middle of pressing in his room. Why'd you come over? I thought we'd bid farewell the previous evening, Tate said. Holly gave a sack to Tate, and she made sense of that she had made lemon squares for Tate to eat on the plane. In the corridor, Sophia feigned exacerbation. You better contemplate me continually, or there will be ramifications, sir, Holly prodded. I will accompany my grandparents. Trust me, you're everything I'll contemplate, Tate said. Tate said thanks to Holly again for the show passes, and he was sorry for not having the option to go to the show. There will be different shows, Holly said. Tate urged Holly to attend the show without him. With a gesture, Holly told Tate not to feel terrible in light of the fact that it was significant for him to invest energy with his grandparents. As Holly and Tate said I love you to each other, Sophia recoiled. After Holly left, Sophia got back to the parlor. I apologize for being such a burden, Sophia said. Tate apologized, and he made sense of that Holly had gotten him show passes for Christmas. I needed to enlighten her something concerning why I was unable to utilize them, Tate said. Really? So I ruined your extraordinary present. Goodness, shockingly better, Sophia said sharply. With a shake of her head, Sophia apologized for her tone. I surmise I didn't understand both of you were at the I love you stage, Sophia said. At the point when Tate noted it had first occurred on Christmas, Sophia remarked that Holly had been the great one that year. She gets I love you, and I get to have a fetus removal, Sophia said. Tate apologized for Sophia hearing his cozy discussion with Holly, and he switched up the conversation to their outing. Sophia affirmed that she had let her folks know that she was visiting universities with her companion Brianna's loved ones. Investigate I choose where I need to go. Assuming I go, Sophia said. You will. We will fix this. I'll get my pack, and we'll stir things up around town, Tate said. Tate went to get his sack, and Sophia held up in the parlor. I get it, some consolation. And Holly will not be having a good time by the same token. I keep thinking about whether she tracked down anybody to utilize those tickets, Sophia said. In the square, Holly called around to companions to check whether anybody could join her at the show. As Holly finished a call, she expressed hi to Doug as he left the Salem motel. Holly inquired as to whether he needed her passes to the Spiritualist Mix show. I didn't have anybody to go with, so I don't maintain that they should go to Squander, Holly said. Why don't we go together? Doug inquired. At the point when Holly appeared to be uncertain, Doug inquired as to whether she was occupied. No. They were only a Christmas present for my sweetheart. Be that as it may, he's going out traveling, Holly said. Doug explained that he had not been asking Holly out on the town. You said you loved the band, and I don't know anybody around, Doug said. Doug proposed that Holly converse with her sweetheart, assuming she had an off-kilter outlook on going with another person. Smart thought, Holly said. Holly called Tate, yet he didn't answer his telephone. Holly let Doug know that she would go to Tate's place to check whether he had left at this point. Holly gave her telephone to Doug so he could enter his telephone number, and she vowed to message him. As Doug looked out for the seat in the square, Leo plunked down close to him. The accessory is sold, Leo said. However much I would have rather not done this, basically I can get these individuals away from me, Doug said. Leo noticed that the sum was not what Doug had needed. Please accept my apologies, it's everything I could manage. In the event that it's any encouragement, I won't take my ordinary 10%, Leo said. Doug expressed gratitude toward Leo. Having an effect is not going. They were anticipating everything, Doug murmured. Leo got some information about his arrangements. I'll need to sort out something, Doug said. At the penthouse, Tate got back to the lounge, and he expanded when he saw Sophia eating his lemon bars. Am I not permitted to have any of these? Since I'm eating for two, essentially for the present, Sophia contended. Sophia, are you certain that you're all right with this? Tate inquired. Sophia noticed that she didn't have a decision. Dislike you need to have a child. It's what we need to do, Sophia said. With a gesture, Tate snatched his pack and opened the front entryway for Sophia. Holly was in the lobby, and her grin floundered when she saw her close buddy with her sweetheart.